So, do you have one of these? It doesn't have to be this big. Size isn't everything. But in our case, we want to make sure that when we lose power, we have just about everything still able to turn on. If this is your first time joining us here on our little mountain life, my name is Don, and we've been documenting our journey as we build our pole barn house up on our little mountain in Virginia. We're just regular people that moved from suburbia to try to get a little slice of heaven on our little mountain, and with that comes the challenges of losing power all the time. This is a follow-up video to our first generator video that we put out almost 3 years ago when we first picked this up. A lot of people have still been commenting on that video, asking questions about it and how it's running, how it's working for our application on our pole barn house. And so we wanted to put this together and kind of give our thoughts and reflect on almost 3 years with this and almost 78 hours using this generator as backup power for our house. We knew when we were building this pole barn house here on our little mountain in Virginia that we wanted backup power regardless of the situation with the grid here in our county. After we moved up here into our little camper as a family of 4, that we realized that we lost power all the time. Like every single month we lost power for at least a few hours. Unfortunately, sometimes it was a lot longer than that. But yeah, this is the Generac 17,500 watt portable generator. This is actually the largest generator that you can buy from Generac that is considered portable. Anything bigger than this, it's going to be stationary, built into a little stand behind your house, and it's going to have a cover on it just like you might see in a lot of commercial applications as well. The starting wattage on this is actually 26,250 watts to kind of help you crank up and get there without shutting off the generator and overpowering it. But the sustained wattage is 17,500. And I would say in a normal house, this is plenty big for you to keep everything on. The issue with our house is that it's all electric. There's no gas, no natural gas, propane, anything like that. There's no solar yet. That's gonna come one day. So we are all on electric. That means our water heater is electric. Everything is electric. So to have a 17,500 watt generator here, it can pretty much run everything we need. It's just that depending on the season, we're gonna have to do some little dancing with the breaker box inside the house. There's a lot of generator brands out there. Generac is well known, but there's others as well, like Honda, and there's all sorts of stuff out there. But the research that I put in, I found this to be a really good value generator for the power that you get and what we ended up paying for it. We actually purchased this generator from Amazon direct, and they had it shipped on a pallet and everything, and we paid $2,999 for it about 3 years ago. Obviously, things have gone up in price, supply chain, inflation, all the bad things happening lately. So right now you're gonna have to pay at least $3,600 for this. So it's gone up about $600 in price. On Amazon, I wouldn't recommend you buying it there because you have to pay over $5,000 for it. But I'll leave the link and you can at least go check it out and quickly read through the specs for yourself to see if this is a good fit for you. But it's definitely a lot pricier than it was when we first purchased it 3 years ago. Now you can probably notice that we actually have 2 different cables, or 2 cords, power cords, going from the generator into the house. We've got our quick connect Generac hookups here on the side of the house. One is going to be a 30 amp and the other is a 50 amp. Now the reason we have 2 different cables going into the house is that with this generator, if you only have the 150 amp cord going in, you're really only using about half of the output of the generator itself. So you're not able to maximize the power that it's putting out for what you're doing inside your house. So in knowing this, we actually have 2 electrical panels inside the house. Each cord goes to its own electrical panel, so we can kind of split the load, take advantage of all the power that this baby puts out, and still be able to live pretty comfortable when we have grid down situations. Of course, a critical part about having a backup generator is to have the proper hookup to your house to prevent backfeeding the grid when the grid goes down and the power guys are working on the lines. You want to make sure you have that shutoff switch so that if the generator is on, the main power coming to your house is off, and vice versa. If there's power coming in the house, there's going to be that shutoff switch there, and that way you cannot accidentally turn on the generator and backfeed the power grid. This generator has served us really well, especially this year. A lot of people have been experiencing really bad storms, and most recently we had a power outage for over 54 hours. And of course we don't want to run the generator the whole time the power is out, but we did put about 25 hours of runtime on this generator during that really long outage. This is an electric start generator. You're going to use a push button, and it's got battery on the back of it as long as it stays charged, so you don't have to worry about throwing your back out when you use a pull cord. And obviously with any generator with this kind of power and output, it's going to guzzle some gas a bit. You can get about 10 hours of runtime when you fill up this generator at full capacity to 16 gallons. 16 gallons is a lot of capacity for fuel. Obviously the typical power outage is a matter of hours, so you can definitely get a couple outages out of this. We have had those longer outages of over 2 days time, and definitely need to refill it at times, but you know, you're only using it to really keep the fridge and the freezer cold and keep your food good, and then sometimes run your air conditioner or your heat depending on the season to keep the family from freezing in the winter and sweating profusely in the summer. And when it comes to air conditioning and heat, it absolutely helps to have an efficient home built. Ours has spray foam and fiberglass insulation, so it's very well insulated. So when it gets cold in there, it stays cold, and vice versa. When it gets hot, it stays hot. One thing you want to be aware of when you're picking out a large generator is the dry weight of the generator. Without any gas in this, it weighs 390 pounds. So this actually has this hook right here, so you can hook it up to a small tractor and be able to lift it and move it around. It's got wheels on the bottom. You can definitely tilt it and move it around a little bit, but if you're gonna move this thing any kind of a long distance, you're gonna want a tractor to move it. When we put so much gas in here, 16 gallons to fill it up, you definitely want to make sure you're putting it in the fuel stabilizer so you don't gunk up your carburetor. It's not often that you'll use all 16 gallons at once, and you don't want your gas going bad and gunking up the engine. So when I was planning this house build, knowing that I wanted the generator here, and when knowing that we actually do want solar eventually, we preemptively ran some PVC conduit under the slab so we can run all the cabling out here to the generator and to the solar panels that'll eventually be here. So that's one of those things, like when you're building a house, you definitely want to think about your infrastructure and how you're getting power and how you get your power when the grid goes down. You absolutely have an option to wire up a portable generator, backup generator for your house after the house has been built, but you definitely want to call an electrician in for that. They're going to have to drill some holes in the side of the house and they'll do all sorts of wiring to help you out with that. But for us, we planned ahead and the install was really simple. And I thought now was a good time to put out this video about generators. You know, we've got people in Texas that lose power on the grid when it gets too hot. We get people in cold climates that lose power when we get winter storms. Hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, power goes down all the time. And you know, I'm not a doomsday guy. I don't really consider myself a hardcore prepper, but I am somebody that wants to take care of my family and my family's needs, and that means power in modern times. And of course, both of us work from home. My wife especially, as an audiobook narrator, she has an office in the shed, and if she loses power, then she can't do her job. She can't send in the files and the emails. So we always need a way to have backup power to make sure that we're living comfortably and able to continue doing our work from home. Definitely let us know in the comments if you have any questions about this generator. I'm not a generator expert by any means, but we've been using this for almost 3 years now, and it's really been great for our family to have when we lose power. If you're interested in looking back at our pole barn house barn dominium build process, we do have a playlist for you to look at with all the build videos and everything that we've done to finish the inside of this house. Check that out if you'd like, and we'll see you guys on the next video.